Welcome to Cisco SecureX. My name is Matt Vanderhorst, and I'm a technical marketing engineer for SecureX Orchestration. In this video, we'll be taking a look at our Microsoft Online CDO group update sample workflow. This workflow is designed to fetch information about Microsoft Cloud subnets and then update a Cisco Defense Orchestrator network object group. This workflow requires a target named Cisco Defense Orchestrator, a CDO API token, the name of the CDO object group you want to update, and a Microsoft Endpoints web service URL obtained from the address shown. Creating targets and account keys is not covered in this video. If you need help with these steps, please reference our other videos or the documentation at cs.co/sxo_docs. After importing this workflow from our GitHub repository, you need to configure a few things. First, you need to provide the workflow your CDO API token in the CDO bearer token local variable. If your token is stored in a global variable, you can use the fetch global variables group at the beginning of the workflow to update the local variable with the global variable's value. If you want to just provide the token directly to the workflow, you can leave that group disabled and add your token to the CDO bearer token local variable directly. Once your token is configured, you need to validate the name of the object group you want to update in the CDO object group name local variable. By default, we look for a group named O365, but if you're using a different group, you can put its name here. Finally, you need to update the workflow's Microsoft Endpoints URL local variable. This should be obtained from the URL on the requirements slide. Edit that local variable and paste in your unique URL. Taking a look at the workflow, we can see it starts by getting the network information from Microsoft and then getting the existing object group configuration from CDO. Then we use Python to compare those two lists of objects to figure out what changes we need to make. For each new network to add, we create a new network object that will add to the object group later. We use Python again to generate the payload to put to the CDO API to update the object group, and then make the API request to update the group. Before we run the workflow, let's take a look at our object group in CDO. For this demo, we removed everything from the group except for one network. Now, if we go back to orchestration and run the workflow, it fetches the information from Microsoft, compares it to the current configuration in CDO, and generates the changes that need to be made. Then, it creates the new network objects and generates the payload to update the object group. Finally, we make an API request to CDO to update the object group with the new collection of networks. Going back to CDO, if we refresh the page, we can see that the object group has been updated. Note that this workflow does not delete objects that aren't needed anymore, but it could be modified to do so. We hope that you enjoyed this overview of our Microsoft Online CDO Group Update orchestration workflow and encourage you to visit cisco.com/go/SecureX for more information about the SecureX platform.